All right, and we're live now.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to the January 8th, 2025 Parks Board. President Alan Hobbs, Commissioner, welcome to the board.
Thank you. Glad to be here for my first meeting. This is in December, so I need a little refresher course, but I'm ready.
We'll go easy on you. What's the hazing going to be? Have we figured that out?
I'm flexible.
Okay. Christina Carr, myself, Tim Pike, Patrick Trainer, Doug McKinney, Gail Partain, Preston King, John Strong, Niles at home, and Terry Pierce right in front of me. All
Hey,
right.
Terry.
Welcome, everyone. Okay. Announcements. The next meeting will be February 5th. Write that down. 2025. And that is a Wednesday. So, okay. Citizens' comments on the agenda items. I don't think.
Yeah, I think everybody who's there should be for an agenda item. So if somebody is there not for the Trails Working Group or the Bricken property, they can speak now.
Okay. Sergio's on the Bricken. Are you Bricken
Yep.
property also? Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's go to approval of the minutes. Approval of the November 6th minutes. Who was here? Everyone, I guess, was here? Except for Alan? And Gail wasn't here? Okay, so we have four of us.
Yep. I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Okay.
Published.
Second?
Second.
All right, it's been
Christina,
second
how you
twice, that's fine. That's okay, no, that's fine, okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's four. No one's going to disapprove, say no, and abstaining are two, right?
Yeah, hold on, but who was at
There's-
that meeting?
Oh, I checked it out. Gail wasn't here.
Oh,
Christine wasn't here, we had four only.
Oh, okay, Christine,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
And I'll
So really, it should be three abstaining because Alan would have to
Correct.
abstain as well.
Who will be the other two?
Not Christina, sorry, Gail. and
Oh,
then Jeff,
okay, yeah,
and
you're
then-
right,
and-
sorry.
So, yeah,
Okay, we're gonna count, okay.
yeah.
All right,
Oh, I was looking at the March 6 minutes.
The March 6 minutes, so that's where Terry had taken those minutes and we had a conversation over the break where we realized we had not approved them yet. So that's
Oh.
why
we're gonna do those right now.
Oh,
All right,
okay,
we
got
approved the November meeting minutes. Now, March 6th meeting, minutes for the meeting. Let's see, I think we're all here for that, right? Gail, you
I
were?
think, yeah, except for McIntyre, who's no longer on the board.
Okay, so it'll be us four, it's gonna be, I guess, 403.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the March minutes.
Could I second?
Gail, you weren't here there.
I can still second, can I?
We can still second, yeah, we had a
Oh.
discussion about that at a
She
committee.
just can't, she can second the motion, just can't vote. Okay.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye. And everybody else abstains.
All right, so that's three. And then 0 and 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. All right. All right. New business. We're going to get a report from the Trails Working Group that, who wants to speak? All you,
Yeah.
come on, you guys all sit up there. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're on the
Chair.
Did you get elected, Grace? Yeah.
Yeah, come on down. You guys want to join them too? Join?
Yeah.
You come up there too. Okay. It was a great committee to be on, right? Yeah.
The dream team.
Well, yeah.
Very efficient.
We should meet once a year now.
Yeah, so as you guys know, the Trails Working Group was tasked to look at existing and proposed trails and make recommendations. We had membership with representation from different areas of Poolesville, as well as guidance from Parks and Planning and Niles, so there was a good diversity of thought and expertise that went into the decisions that we made. We met several times and went through the 1990 Town Master Plan and looked at the original objectives that were envisioned back when that was created. We talked about the current status of the existing and proposed trails. We also discussed considerations with regard to land ownership and things like town and county policy. So what we did was, we wanted to prioritize the original goals of the 1990 master plan, that included, making loops with the trails and maximizing connectivity with regard to neighborhoods and points of interest. While we looked at things like easements, we actually obtaining the required easements and doing detailed surveys and cost analyses was not in scope of the working group, so that would have to be considered as part of a future effort. So I think you guys have a copy of the recommendations, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're pretty straightforward, and we can just walk through them. And I invite any other members of the working group to chime in.
Grace, do you mind if I just interrupt you real quick? Just get clarification from Niles. So this, right, we're looking at here, Niles, on the screen, that is the result of the Trails Working Group, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So as you go through, you'll note on the trails analysis that was put together based on the working group's conversations. Each number trail matches a proposed trail on the analysis, so they both fit together.
Yes, I just, because in our packet, we have the proposed, the new, and then we have the old. So I just want to make sure that what
Yeah.
we're looking at on the screen here is the,
Yeah.
okay.
I figured, so the old was just for the purposes for particularly Alan to see what you guys have looked at this map before. But what I figured for tonight, the focus would be on the new one. That's why I put that one up. I can put up the old one if someone needs.
No, that's perfect. I just wanted to clarify. Sorry, Grace.
That's okay. Yeah, and also the numbers don't reflect priority, they're just to show where they are on the map. So. All right, so working through this, the proposed Trail 1 on Fisher Avenue. So that would be adding sidewalk along Fisher Avenue from Ertsberger Lane to Plant Road. We recommend a paved trail, trail distance 800 feet. Neighborhoods connected, the sidewalk would connect this part of Fisher to the rest of the trail, all the way back past Elgin Road in the west end of town. 3 easements, 3 possible easements and the approval of state highway would be needed. And the working, sorry.
Just one quick thing on that. I think, John, didn't we have a conversation where it's possible that state highway might not be needed?
That's correct, if the,
Setback is
if
enough?
it's set back behind the right-of-way.
Yeah. All right. Continue.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so the working group recommendation was to prioritize this trail due to the short length and because it completes the trail that extends back to the other end of town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Proposed Trail 2, Bud Road, adds a sidewalk along Bud Road from Fisher Avenue to Willis Lane. Again, a paved trail. Trail distance is 5,000 feet and would connect Fisher Avenue with the southern end of town at Willis Lane. Again, this would require 3 easements, and the trail would connect to Hoeing Park and have sidewalk on the left side of the street. The consensus was to have this trail stop at the intersection of trails 4 and 5 rather than continue down to Willis Lane.
But I think we left the idea on there just in case at some point we were able to get, additional easements or
Yeah.
town property. So that's why you see that extension of Trail 2 down to Trail 3.
And that's discussed in the Trail 3 section.
Yeah.
Excuse me, is that the trail that we walked?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was town property in there.
So for the, yes.
This
so there's
part
town
over here.
property down past 4 and 5, going up for where 2 is, the northern part of 2.
This-
That's
okay.
where there are some private easements and
Gotcha.
some
Right, that's
other
right.
things that
This
have to be a little
right
bit
here.
more worked out.
I was thinking where you bring your lawnmower through, but I see, we have to get to that point. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Sorry. Thank you.
All right, so proposed Trail 3, Willis Lane Trail, trail along Willis Lane at the south end of town, paved trail, 2,058 feet, connect Bud Road Trail with the Hughes Road Trail. This would not require any approvals because right-of-way is in place. Notes Willis Lane is outside of the town limits and does not extend to Bud Road. This trail would have to go along the property line within the town limits. So as we just talked about, working group recommends this as secondary to Trails 4 and 5, which we're about to talk about, which connect the same neighborhoods without going so far south.
Okay.
All right. Proposed Trail 4, connection from Bud Road to Hughes Road. This could be paved or rustic. Trail distance is 1,155 feet. Connects the proposed trail on Bud Road and the proposed trail from Fisher Avenue to Bud Road with the existing trail on Hughes Road. Would need at least 2 easements, possibly 3. Go ahead.
That's one where we updated it. I apologize, that was not updated correctly. Remember, this is where John and we looked at this, and there is an easement all the
Yeah,
way across.
4's got the easement already existing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it says under the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
just-
I see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And the working group preferred the connection between Bud Road and Hughes Road because it's directly connected to the trail existing on Hughes Road and would be a shorter route than Trail 3.
Okay, good.
All right, proposed Trail 5, connecting Fisher Avenue to Bud Road, could be paved or rustic, 3672 feet, connecting the proposed trail on Bud Road and Fisher Avenue with Hughes Road. Would need easements on 5 properties with 3 different owners, and would primarily pass through currently undeveloped property and connect with the commercial properties on Bud Road. So the working group prioritized this trail over extending Trail 3 down the road, as it would connect Fisher Avenue with Hughes Road.
Okay.
Proposed Trail 6, Hunter's Run. So this was kind of the genesis of the working group. We proposed a paved and rustic trail, 1,552 feet, connecting the Westerly Grove neighborhood with Hunter's Run neighborhood and connecting it with the Hughes Road Trail. Main approval needed would be from the middle school for a trail on their property. Notes this trail has been discussed at length. The original trail ran behind property owners on the west side of Hunter's Run and has received significant opposition from property owners. Phase 2, which would connect the trail through the school property to Hughes Road, has slope issues that would make completing that part of the trail cost prohibitive. So this is a good one to look at the original versus proposed.
Yeah.
To see the differences.
So the proposed was this one here, right? So we're taking this one out, and we're saying there's gonna be a trail that comes, that stops here, comes around through here, but then part of 6 includes an easement or a improvement to the west side. Yeah, I don't think you haven't gotten to yet, but also, were we including that connection between, where there's no sidewalk in Westerly, between Westerly
Yes.
Grove and the park there?
So if you see on the screen, I'm going to try to highlight it in green there.
Oh, I see it, yeah.
That's where the connection would be made.
Right, so that's,
Depending, and we had discussions there about which side of the street it could be on and things like that. Some of those
yeah,
details
so
need
this
to
would
be
be,
worked out.
so this right here would be part of 6, and as well as this.
Yeah, so
Okay.
basically, if you imagine it, it's kind of like this, utilizing the existing sidewalk that would go down, you, again, still using the sidewalk, and then connect this with this,
The trail.
basically. So that's kind of the idea, or over. And we looked at both. There's an existing, we'll talk about this in the recommendations, but there's an existing maintenance path next to the pond and things like that that could be utilized as part of this.
Right, and we thought the sidewalks would be part of the trail too.
Yes.
Right.
And no, just the way this map is done, it just shows all of the sidewalks, just so that you can get a sense.
Right.
With the
Of the
sidewalk.
connectivity, right? That's
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. On the other map, it will show some of the sidewalks that have been designated trails. But just for the purposes of this, we're just kind of connecting it, the
Yeah.
previous.
We're essentially just connecting, that one area of Bodmer that has no sidewalks
Right, correct.
between the old neighborhood and the new neighborhood.
Yep.
So we just talked about this, but I'll read the recommendation. Working group recommends rerouting this trail to align with the Hilliard Street sidewalk and adding a new rustic trail around the pond at the middle school. In addition, the working group also recommends adding a sidewalk to connect the existing sidewalk on Bodmer to the existing sidewalk on Hoskinson. This would complete the sidewalk network in this area and provide access to Helmus Park and the rest of the Hunter's Run Trail via Hilliard Street down to the middle school. Another recommendation would be to improve current access to Beaver Pond by including a viewing stand for residents to enjoy.
That's that little pink area on
Little dash.
that little dash right there. Yeah.
Which one is that?
Yeah.
That's the part where Beaver Pond is back there.
Yeah. So improving a trail to there and having like a viewing stand. Yeah.
What are we viewing? The beavers?
A pond.
So the-
Wildlife.
Going back to where the John Poole Middle School, where the pond is,
Yep.
I know that's a right of way relative to, the town owns it. There's what, 1, 2, 3 houses, I think, that,
Back
back
up.
of the house, I just happen to live on the court, so I know this well. But as far as like the high school cross-country team that runs through there all the time, they still have access, if they go through that and there's no conflict. Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
And part of,
I don't think it'll be paved.
right. And I was gonna say, define rustic for me, is that like a
Right.
mulch area, is it, some other
Wood
different
chips, most
substrate?
likely be wood chips.
You're in the woods.
Yeah.
yeah.
And what are we talking about width wise? Where 3 to
5 feet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that where that trail exists now for the lawnmowers, if you go back around the pond,
Correct.
there's a kind of an already
Oh, no.
You know what I'm talking about.
I've hiked there off the record a few times.
so there's like a makeshift bridge back there,
Yeah.
So basically say, hey, we're gonna put a real bridge.
Back in my younger days, that was my hills for my workout, on the back end of the dam.
Pretty cool.
That was pretty steep.
too.
Yes, it
You
was.
ran that, you were a man on that one, I'm just telling you that.
That's why I'm not a man anymore.
That would enhance cross-country access.
Yes.
Be able to keep going all the way around.
Yeah, if we
It's a
could-
great- it's a
if we
great
get that
closed
bridge put
course.
in there, that would really be a neat course.
That's a good closed course for those, because they go all the way around and then through the,
And see, we do have that Eagle Scout, I'm working with the Eagle Scout to
Yep.
get that bridge in.
okay,
But if he doesn't move on it soon, we just might do it
okay.
in there, because there's enough human traffic. Humans tell you where you want to go anyways, and
Yep.
there's a nice trail anyways. And I think we should, the Eagle Scout, I think he's going to play in the springtime, but if it doesn't happen, I'll make it happen by
Okay.
next spring.
Perfect.
All right, proposed Trail 7, West Willard Road, paved trail, 1,552 feet. This trail would connect the Westerly Grove neighborhood to Stony Spring and Westerly neighborhoods with downtown Poolesville. 8 easements would be required to complete this trail along West Willard. Note, staff is preparing to request easements for 3 sidewalk sections in the coming weeks. A sidewalk on the other side of the street connects many of these neighborhoods. Town intends to extend this sidewalk to Fisher Avenue. So, working group concurs with this priority and encourages the town to implement its plans for the sidewalk.
And just as a follow-up to that, we've already gained the easement on the west side of Westville Willard and plan on in the spring, summertime to actually construct that. So part of this will already happen, which is why the recommendation is written this way.
Proposed Trail 8, Seneca Creek Trail, a rustic trail is recommended, 21 feet. The trail would connect neighborhoods of Brightwell and Tama through Dry Seneca Creek. Trail is already on town-owned property. 2 trails already bisect this trail. Notes this area's topography, including floodplains, makes it a good location for a primitive trail. Staff also considered the placement of these trails and the potential addition of another trail near ponds north of this proposed trail. Working group recommendation, this trail is also a priority of the working group as it is already on town property. However, there are discussions of adding a segment to the trail further north to an area that connects with existing neighborhood access.
Just to nitpick, you have 2 definitions now. You have a rustic road. And
Oh, yeah.
What'd you call this one?
I think a primitive trail, that's a holdover from a earlier discussion. I can change that.
No, just, yeah. To
Yeah.
clean it up when we can.
Mhm.
It's actually, says rustic in the version I'm
Yeah.
looking at.
Yes, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have already changed that, so that's okay. Mhm. But I'll make sure.
All right, proposed Trail 9, Cattail Road to Woods of Tama Trail. Paved trail, 30 feet, would connect the Westman neighborhood with the Brightwell neighborhood through Cattail Road. Would require 2 easements, would lead primarily through undeveloped properties. The working group recommendation considers this a wish list item because it passes through an undeveloped area of town.
That's the big one.
No, that's, it goes around Mackenzie's property, Dave Mackenzie's property.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what the street's could go through someday?
So there was a proposal to put a street through there in a
That's by,
previous
is that
version.
McKernan Way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Extension.
The Cecil Manor extension.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's right at that empty lot, I presume.
Yep. So there's a gap in between where it would go through. If you ever are in that part of town, you can see. So
That part seems so.
That other part, that bottom part.
That neighborhood.
Okay, proposed Trail 10, Dry Seneca Creek to Stevens Park. This could be either trail type, 87 feet, would connect Brightwell and Tama neighborhoods with Stevens Park. Would require 3 easements from 2 property owners and would be primarily on undeveloped properties. Working group stated that this trail and Trail 11 should be considered in tandem and recommends that only the most feasible trail be constructed, not both, since they lead to the same destination. So Trail 11 is Dr. Walling Road to Collier Circle Pond Trail, paved trail 18 feet. Trail would connect the Tama neighborhood with Collier Circle Park and Westmond. Depending on the exact placement of the trail, there are at least 2 easements, one for the elementary school. And then from the elementary school to the bend in Cattail Road, there are areas, some of which were already dedicated to the town when it took over that section of Cattail Road. And then the working group recommendation stated, again, that this trail and Trail 10 should be considered together, and then only the most feasible one be constructed.
You back up a little bit. Where is, you mentioned a group of contentious,
Talking about this trail?
yeah. it's Seymour, it's backside of Seymour Court. and
Yeah.
The next court, next court.
Yeah.
It's being,
So-
our recommendation is that we're taking that out.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, so that'll come out of the parks, or the trails
Yeah, overall.
overall plan now. That'll come out of the plan. And then we're saying we want to connect that, well, you can see it better
Yeah.
here. We want to connect that, right?
Right.
Right there, and then the Beaver Pond part of that, and then this part is all kind of the way we create that connectivity without having to go back behind all those houses.
Stay on the interior.
Yeah, stay on the interior, essentially, use the sidewalks that already exist. Yeah.
Anyway,
That make sense?
thank you.
Think that's it.
Number 12? No, I'm kidding.
Gail's like, what? Oh, Grace is like, what?
I wasn't there. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so
Very good.
much.
you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So Tim and I got to serve on this,
And Terry.
and Terry.
Yeah.
Got to serve on, this was probably the most efficient, working group that I've ever been a part of.
Yeah,
We got-
absolutely.
I mean, it just, everybody was on the same page and get done quick, and
Well, Brian said, in at 5, out by,
Yeah.
6, out by 7.
it's just a
whatever,
very,
fine.
very efficient. And Tim and I were both on that committee with Terry as well, and Brian Bupp, who's now Commissioner Bupp, was on the planning commission. So they're getting, if I'm not mistaken, Niles, the same kind of.
Yeah, we're going to work out exactly whether it's going to be the exact same presentation or this is going to be the same information, but whether that will be next week or in a month from now. I'm still working on the scheduling for this presentation.
Gotcha.
Just with the other priorities that the planning commission has going on as well.
So 2 questions for you, just procedurally. One, Tim, I, and Terry, we can make a motion based off this information, correct? Even though
So
we're
you
part of
can
the
make
group?
Yeah, so you, even if you were a part of it, it was your subcommittee of your body, basically, that the Trails Working Group was.
Just
So you
making
can
sure.
make a recommendation off this, and then the planning commission can take that, and the commissioners either way will know your recommendation. The planning commission can look at this as well and provide a recommendation as well.
Gotcha, okay. And just so I'm clear, we're making a recommendation to the commissioners that they recommend to the planning commission to adopt this, or?
I would say you are making, I'd say the easiest way of saying is that you are making a recommendation to both the planning commission and the commissioners. Because
At the same time, okay.
At the same time,
Got
because that way then it all gets communicated.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Any discussion? Any other comments, thoughts?
Ellen, what do you think? Discussion? Anything?
No, it's pretty good. I'm pretty,
I thought it was pretty thorough.
it is thorough. It's very thorough. It's very thorough. You know, I know most of these maps pretty well. I think it's a fantastic idea, and the presentation is pretty stellar, to be honest with you. It's thorough. It's nice to have the color coded for everybody to understand it, and gives an idea of really our plat of our town, where it can all, interconnect with all the communities. So,
Yeah, I like it. Doug, any questions, comments?
And Grace, correct me if I'm wrong, did we talk about the other recommendations that we had as a group that were kind of overall?
Oh, yeah. That was from the letter.
You
which I
want
thought
you want to come back up, or you want me to just? She's like, so along with this proposed trail group is we were recommending using implementing a trail marking system, and then addressing any safety issues at trail crossing, like on major roads, and then we wanted to figure out a way to promote, educate town residents about the trails and future progress of the trails, and then partner with civic groups to assist in trail maintenance. So the idea was like maybe creating a Poolesville, trail group or trail club, or something like that, that's a civic organization that works with the town to, if mulch needs to be spread or something like that on some of the rustic trails or what have you, or wood chips or whatever. So that was the idea behind that.
What do you think about that, Preston?
Fine.
Helpers?
Yeah, I just need another person, that's all.
This would hopefully be a lot of
I
people.
just know how helpers are, but
Yeah, that's why I asked the question.
It's an opportunity for scouts, for global program, for Kaleva, SSL hours
Sure.
to come out and, participate in the community. I think it's a good
I
opportunity.
think it is too.
I think Preston has something to say, but he doesn't want to say it.
What's the smirk about?
He knows
we
what
get a lot of
happens.
SSL hours.
That'll be exhausted in the first month.
Yeah.
Well, I'm being serious. They talked about on other projects, the high schoolers don't work for us because it's manual labor. I'm just being serious.
Thank you.
Well, this would also, it would be high school, but also residents.
We can address that in a
I'm just
future.
saying, just
We can address that.
reality of it in this town, our young kids, they don't physically do work. In general. Yep.
Just-
Quarterly,
Maybe.
Maybe once everything gets going, we can do that. Get the word out.
Anyway, those are just side
Yeah.
recommendations.
I like those recommendations. I forgot about those recommendations. We talked about that. All right. All right, anyone, you guys want to make a recommendation for commissioners, or?
Yeah, so I make a recommendation, or I make a motion that we recommend to the commissioners and the planning commission that they adopt the proposal of the Trails Working Group as the new trails system in town, and make sure that that's included and updated in the town master plan,
And how about the 4?
including the 4 recommendations
In the cover letter.
in the cover letter.
The marking system, the crossings, okay. Right.
I will second that motion.
Oh, we have a motion, second. Any discussion, I guess, or? Okay, second then. You say,
I second.
all right. Okay,
I like it.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Good job, guys.
Let's see, Terry, 1, 2, how many's that, 7?
6, 7.
I think it was unanimous.
Terry, yeah. Okay. No one abstained, and no one said no. Okay. All right, moving right along here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if the planning commission and the commissioners approve of our recommendation, or implement.
All right, you guys want to go on the next one? Or
Full knowledge of what you guys are doing.
presentation and possible approval of Bricken Property Park and Street improvements. Thank you.
Thank you,
Don't
guys.
forget-
Thank you guys a
Don't
lot.
forget,
Best, best committee ever.
thanks. We'll do it again.
Please sign up for the next committee.
Thank you,
that
Grace,
comes
good job.
out. I beg of you.
Niles, you gonna take over?
Yeah, I'll lead this and then they will go in.
Okay.
Sergio and Kevin, if you want to unmute now, and then I'm going to do a brief summary of staff's perspective, then we can talk about the specific improvements.
All right, Sergio
So-
and Kevin are on.
And then I think there's a couple more people in the meeting, so if you guys want to identify yourselves, that'd be great as well.
Sure. Good evening. I'm Dawn Voles with Dewberry.
And I'm Gio Esposito from Tri Point Homes.
All right. So, under the subdivision regulations for Poolesville, the Parks Board provides recommendations on specific aspects of subdivision plans. These include on public sites and adequate open spaces, on adequate recreational facilities and locations, landscape and forest conservation plans, and traffic calming devices. The development, located on the west side of West Willard and Bodmer, at that intersection going south and west, has an already approved preliminary plan. The plan includes a public improvement agreement that outlines the improvements required through the planning commission process. One such improvement, so this is the specific things that we'll be talking tonight, and I'll share the exhibits on the screen in just a second. One such improvement is the raised intersection on West Willard and Bodmer. The Planning Commission requested this improvement, which is required by that PIA, the Public Improvement Agreement. Therefore, the Parks Board does not have to approve it, as it's already in an agreement between the town and the developers. So therefore, this is more just to satisfy the code requirement that you have to be notified that this is a traffic calming device. If you have any questions, we can discuss those.
Do we have a copy of the actual public improvement agreement?
I can share that with you if you would like. I didn't put it in the packet because it just basically says
I got
what
you.
they've done. It's all consistent with it. I should
Yeah,
say.
yeah. I see the schematic of the.
Yeah, of the intersection.
Yeah.
Yep, and this has all been reviewed by John as well, and so that's part of this as well. Another improvement is the top lot on parcel B of the subdivision. In May 2023, the Parks Board recommended to the Planning Commission that this location be acceptable for the park and that a fee would cover the rest of the parkland dedication. So that was a previous recommendation of this body. And therefore, the PIA agreement also included this, but the board must review and approve the park equipment. So in this case, the top lot itself, see in the agenda packet the details there. Staff has reviewed the submitted plan and has one comment. The applicant plans to use a rubber playground surface. However, per commissioner's policy, the town removed all rubber playground surfaces, and so therefore, staff recommends that the applicant replace the rubber surface with engineered wood fibers to comply with the commissioner's policy. And then, lastly, the Parks Board also has to review and approve the forest conservation plan. Staff reviewed the plan submitted by the applicant and found it to comply with the subdivision and code requirements and the forest conservation requirements. So that's sort of the total of our report. And then if the applicants have things they would like to share, please do so. I'm going to share on the screen the exhibits. So just give me a second there. I don't know who wants to start on your guys' side.
Quick question. Part of that park was designed to have a what's the name? Water.
Well,
Like a water faucet,
Water faucet,
Yeah.
Concrete right in front of you, right back here, right there.
pervious concrete?
Yes, thank you, pervious concrete.
Pervious concrete, that would be for a parking
The
area?
parking area.
Well, we were talking, because
That would be part of Montgomery County's approval process, not the town's approval process. Because Montgomery County dictates stormwater management.
okay. Understood, that wasn't quite my focus. Remember you talked about using that corner of the park, let's say, and have it able to
I think you're
use
speaking
for
of,
parking?
are you talking about
That's
Willard
over
property?
here.
That's the Willard property.
This Willard, this isn't Willard.
This
Oh, I
is
know what you're
Rickett.
talking about.
the other one.
You're talking about that parking spot and this, that we're going to put bricks in the ground that allow grass to come up
Yeah, yeah.
for vehicles. That's this.
That's this one. We're talking about brick.
This is brick, but this is the one
Separate,
across
yeah,
from
separate.
the
Off
soccer
of
field.
West Willard Road.
Across from the soccer field, that development.
Yeah.
It's this one right here.
Okay, all right. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, sure with that.
Yeah.
It's this one right here.
Yeah. No, I got it.
You want to, where Westerly Grove comes through here.
Okay, can they begin?
This is
or-
where they're talking about putting that four-way stop in here.
Who wants to go first? How big is the property? How many acres?
Let's get the site plan up.
Oh, don't worry if you don't know it. I'm just kidding.
We're just prompting you.
We're getting you going here.
If the traffic of
The raised
Raised.
intersection.
yeah, the raised intersection. What are we calling it? The traffic slowdown area.
Calming device.
Calming
Yeah.
device. Thank you. That's already been approved by planning, right? There's nothing we need to do. We're just being
Correct.
notified.
It's
Just the detail.
It's just under the code, you are supposed to have you're supposed to understand that when traffic calming devices are implemented in town, you have a say about it. But in this case, because it has already been approved by the commissioners through the PIA agreement, there's nothing, you can't change anything anyways, because it's already been approved.
Okay, perfect.
So if you have any questions, we can talk about that, but that is
Getting an
the
update.
plan.
Yeah, got it. And then that is going to be a four-way stop anyway, right?
Correct. That was the discussion that was put in with the planning commission.
Okay.
Okay, that was easy.
Sorry, I was buying you some time.
For the presentation purposes for today, what we've provided is essentially our streetscape improvements, our amenity spaces, tot lot, entrance monument features, screening for the pump station. So that's what we're prepared to present today.
Yep. No, that's all good.
I'm just trying to sync in with what's.
Yeah, if there's anything else that we need, that,
Yeah. So the screening and all of that, and the entrance feature actually, isn't it the entrance feature, John, that actually needs planning commission approval, not the Parks Board?
That's correct. It's the planning
Yeah.
commission.
So that's a separate one for tonight, so I didn't put that. And then the screening, I think is that in with the forest conservation, or is that the separate pump
No,
station?
that's separate.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
I can pull that one up if we need to, but, was there any objection to that screening?
No, it's all fine. Of course, we need the planting schedule and all that other stuff, but,
Yeah.
but no.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Okay.
yeah, it's, the only thing that's confusing is that there's not an overall view of the property, it's all just broken out.
Do you have one
Yeah.
map?
And let me see if I can pull
Thank
that.
Yeah, that's where it gets confusing, Mal. I mean, I see it
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
I'm reading the street sign, I'm like, okay, where
Yeah.
is this?
Yeah.
Where's the tot lot gonna go?
The tot lot, so essentially, it's coming off Bodmer, right, you're gonna have courts. It looks like 2 courts, maybe 4 courts coming off, right, off of Bodmer, as you go into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's a very put it this way. So think of it as a horseshoe, big horseshoe.
Uh-huh.
There's some courts. At the center of the horseshoe, at the top of it, towards the very western side, far away, that's where the tot lot's gonna go.
Right.
Can I interrupt? Niles, you should have a PDF that it's called parcels.
Okay. Yep.
That will give you a full site plan and will show where the parcels are and
Sounds
the
good.
public location.
Just give me a second.
Yeah, I think
and
it's just the confusing part.
Yeah. No, I understand. So just give me 1 second and I'll get
Yeah,
that.
because Bodmer just goes all the way around.
Oh, yeah, because it goes, yeah, there, it's gone.
Right.
How many lots again?
And so that's the tot lot right in
That's the top
between,
of
at
the
the very back, yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
There's a lot more, there's a lot more than that, because that's just one court.
Oh, okay.
I think we looked at
Oh,
this.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna look at it, but
Yeah.
the only thing that we need to do as a board
Yes.
Yeah.
is approve the equipment, correct?
Correct. So for this meeting, the main 2 things are approving the equipment, and they've probably noted our comment, and then also approving the forest conservation and all of that. That's what is in those each section.
Which is the fee in lieu of, right? The forest conservation.
The forest conservation in this case is all, John, it's all afforestation in
It's
this
all,
case, right?
it's all on site.
Oh, it's all on site, so there is no fee in lieu for the.
No fee in lieu. The town does no longer, just to let you know, the town no longer accepts fee in lieu. If there was a condition that existed where they didn't have enough area for forest conservation, then there is a forest bank that the town owns, which is.
That they can contribute to, which is essentially a fee in lieu, by another name. Got it. Okay.
So, yeah, so basically, that's what we have to go over, and then I'll pull up the other, plan if you want to see it, but, I don't know if you want to go through more, if there's any questions on the specific, tot lot, let's start there maybe. And that
I
will
would just,
be-
the only question I have is, Preston, is this the Princeton brand that what we typically have there in the town, and the rest of it, or the
The supplier.
the supplier?
What does the town typically use for a supplier? Do you remember?
Game time.
Game time?
I'm just like, it shouldn't be an issue, right? It just says Princeton, I think
I'm sure
that's,
they're comparable.
yeah, I was gonna say they gotta be pretty comparable.
Last time they went through, they were, I think it was Kettler.
Yeah.
Okay, let me-
Yeah, but it looks very similar construction to what we used in the past.
Okay.
How many lots in total?
65.
So,
Just to let you know, this was a recommendation from the original plan that came in the concept phase. One of the two of our planning commissioners recommended that a small tot lot for that area be in place. The original thought was they would use the existing plan that exists over at Oxley, over at the Westerly Grove area. But
Right.
crossing the street would present problems.
Right.
So they decided to put it in.
Have us have one back in there. Yeah, I remember that conversation.
Great idea. Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we really not
Okay.
involved in that. So, I make a motion that we approve the tot lot for the Bricken property with the, amendment that we do not use rubber mulch.
Any discussion?
We need to talk about the,
Forest conservation?
yeah.
We'll do that.
We can do that after.
We'll do one and one.
Yeah, 1 and 1.
Right.
Any discussion on that? Okay. Motion.
Second?
Second. Okay. Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Terry.
Terry, where'd he go?
I said aye.
Oh, sorry. That's 7-0 and, okay, we'll go to.
Yeah, I guess it would be helpful to see the forest conservation, like, on the map. It's the big map.
Yeah. Let me see what we can do here.
Because I know I can just picture it in my mind that
Yeah.
you're going to have that, especially along the back tree line there. Along the back tree line of the neighborhood will be all forest conservation.
Yes. Either be forest conservation or afforestation. but-
Right.
Yeah. Let me give me 1 second here, and I'll.
And just to be clear, the planning commission has already signed off on the
That's correct.
That's correct. It's just part of the procedure is that it has to also be approved by this body.
Yep.
Oh, and so you can see, actually, I'm going to go back up
Could you
for a
back up
second.
one,
Yep.
please? That's the,
And then this also includes, this is where we were talking about the screening around the pump station here.
Sewage pump station.
okay, that's.
Yeah.
So the particular project, gravity feeds to that pump station, and then that pumps up to the area of Oxley and Bodmer, where it ties in.
Could you go back one more?
What roads are we looking at there? Or is there, are they not named?
Neighborhood.
No, they are, but I'm not sure if this one has it on it. Hang on 1 second. I gotta go back.
But that's the south end of Bodmer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so stop there, Niles.
Yeah.
So if this is Bodmer here, right?
So it's Bodmer basically is that
What's all back
horseshoe
here?
that John was talking about.
What's all back here, parcel B? That's the
It's-
forestation?
That's the parcel B is where the tot lot
That's
is.
the back
Yeah.
end of the property where there's already a tree line back there.
There's a tree line
Yeah.
back.
Okay, that was gonna be, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you scroll up about 5 more pages, there's an overall.
No, wait, hang on. Did I not? Did it go backwards on me? It sometimes does. No, it didn't. It didn't pull it. Okay. I will see if I can pull that while we're talking about it. Okay.
You said if you went back 5 more pages, it was there.
Yeah, but when I try to go back, it goes to the next one, which is the tot lot. So I think something got when I tried to combine them all together. I think it
okay.
got off.
Okay.
So let me just pull that, and then it'll be just a second. All right.
So the only other thing I would ask a question about is there a way to do a rustic trail back behind the houses there? Or,
Really, because
Based on the elevation?
Forest conservations are included into the housing lots, and that has already been.
okay. Yeah, I think because that was one of the things we were talking about when we were going back and forth with the planning, like.
So in
we should-
20
we need
years,
to
there won't be a trail behind there?
Yeah,
There won't be a trail.
there will not be,
Unless the all the homeowners decide they want a trail.
yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna forward something, just give me 1 second. Send.
Well, I'm just as new stuff comes online. I don't necessarily know if I need to see the whole schematic in order to approve the forest conservation that's
Forest
already.
conservation meets the minimum requirements for the state of Maryland and also the town's requirements that meet the state
Right,
requirements.
and the planning commission has already signed off on
Commission's
that.
already dedicated it and went through a whole process months ago.
Yeah. There it is.
Realignment.
There it is, right there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, see, that's, all right.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Where's parcel? Okay, so there's your.
But parcel B is the blue.
Blue.
Yep, correct.
The pump is
I
in
will-
the pump is in the pink.
Yeah.
Oh, go back, we like that one.
Yep, I know. Just give me 1 second. Doing it so that Terry can see too.
Niles, you can tell him to hush. It's okay.
So let me just go back in this here, and then I'm going to go
Oh,
here.
Okay, right
Look
there.
at mine. It's millions.
Here. Okay.
There you go.
So that's the whole
Yeah.
site map, right?
Yeah,
Mhm, yeah, that's the whole site.
What is this?
that's a farm.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a private property owner.
Right.
Yep.
Now, what's to the north, the top of the screen?
So
That's
this is
the back end of the existing property, the existing development over there.
yeah, this is where Stony Springs
Yep.
comes into. And then this is the intersection that we
What's that
talked
up there?
about here.
That's Bodmer.
That's the.
Yep, this is Bodmer. Yep, so Bodmer basically goes like this.
Bodmer, and Bodmer goes this way.
Yeah, what's the top though?
Oh, I thought
The
blue.
Yeah,
top is the.
the plan is
sorry,
90
Bob,
What
degrees.
you're looking
right
at
there.
is the,
Yeah.
I think what they're looking at is the delineation of where the forest conservation line is in the
Okay.
back of the property.
This Bodmer, this is where Bodmer connects
Right.
to the other development,
Yes.
Yeah,
right? This
Yep,
comes
right
around,
here.
this would be a turnoff onto West Willard. This is the parcel C where the pump station is, that's gonna be, the trees around that, that's parcel 8, or parcel B rather, and all the trees will be back up in there. But there's also trees back along that as well.
Well, what's that structure back
This,
The structure, that's the
on
other
the farm.
property. That's the horse
a
farm
horse
that's
farm.
on the back part,
Yeah.
back part of
if
it.
you go down,
Yeah.
what is it, Westerly,
West Willard.
Westerly Road,
Westerly, you can see that.
you can see, if you keep going down, you'll see it on your left.
there? All right, sorry, I got off track there.
That's all right.
That's outside the town boundary.
I thought so, yeah.
But there will be trees all along that back, along all those lots in the back there.
Yes.
What we are just depicting in these colors is, just to be clear, is those would be dedicated to the town, the yellow, the blue, and the pink.
Got it.
Those are the parcel boundaries.
And is partial A just green space?
Yes. Yeah. And part of that is because the
And forest
parcel and forest conservation, okay, is also in the, you're talking about the.
Parcel A,
yellowish?
yeah.
Yeah. There's a floodplain
it's
boundary in
open-
there.
It's
too.
open at the intersection of Bodmer and Willard. Everything else is forested.
All right, any questions on the forest reconservation?
I make a motion, we approve,
Oh, Alan's
I was gonna say, Niles, can you email that over to us, please?
yep. I'll send it, I'll share it in
Thank
1
you.
second. So go ahead.
I make a motion, we approve the forest conservation plan as approved by the planning commission.
I second.
Any, okay. Questions?
I make a motion, we recommend to the commissioners that we approve the,
Any discussion? We have a second?
We're gonna have to go through commission
yeah, that's fine.
It will,
Yeah.
yes.
and not.
Okay, I'll call the vote for the forest reconservation plan.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
What we're saying is, we're making that recommendation.
Everyone say aye? Yeah, Pat.
Yeah.
Terry?
Terry? Aye. You say aye?
No, but I don't think.
All right, guys, moving along. Do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, thank you.
commission.
All right.
Relatively painless, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Appreciate your time, yeah.
Well, you guys did all the work. All right, okay. 5, okay. Possible recommendation for a traffic order for Wooten Avenue.
Yeah.
Niles or John or Preston, who's gonna explain?
I'll start this out.
All right,
So,
guys?
Hang on a second.
So basically, we had staff request that the board recommend to the commissioners that a traffic order be issued for a new no parking designation for the section of Wooten Ave between Fisher Ave and where Well 3 is, or also where Brooks Park is. The precise location is shown on the map in the agenda packet, and I'll put that up in a second. This request is based on issues with cars stacking during the morning school run and abandoned vehicles that we have in this area.
Thank you
that
both,
build
by the way.
up and make it harder to access the Well 3 site and Brooks Park and create overall traffic congestion in this area.
So that's only on that side of the road.
Yes.
Yes. Mhm. And so let me just share once again, and then we'll,
Tim, it's the only curb section along that section on that road.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. I didn't know there was a parking problem there, but, wow.
That's what we've observed and have had complaints about.
No, I'm just curious, I don't go down there, so.
Yeah. And so here we go. Hang on one second.
It's on the last
So,
page.
Last page.
yeah.
It's kind of light. It's kind of light colored. There you go.
Yeah. So let's see if I can zoom this in so that, there we go. So if you imagine here, roughly from where Fisher is, can you see that? Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, the intersection is here. I'm going to see if I can remove this stupid thing. Okay.
That's Kohlhaas. That's Kohlhaas, right? The Kohlhaas Road. Yep.
Is right here. Yeah.
Yep.
Here, let me do it in here so that I can
pond there?
highlight it. Kohlhaas is here.
Yep.
Wooten is here. And Fisher is here.
Yeah.
So basically, it would be adding no parking to this section to allow for better access. And then we've had issues, as I said, with the stacking and abandoning.
We just saw that with the plowing this.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, and not so much the plowing, it's actually when there is
Traffic.
morning traffic to the elementary school. It
Tough to
really
see around the
causes
cars.
really a pinch point in there, 'cause there's so many people coming and going through there.
Do we know who's parking there?
So at least in one case, it was a resident who has moved their car in and out of that area. So they were parked up there temporarily, then move it again and put it back. In another case, it was a literal abandoned vehicle, it seemed like, where we posted a sticker on it, and for an extended period of time, there was no movement. And part of that, I understand, it could have been related to the work on Kohlhaas Road with the water line project. But still, that's just been a part of the issue here.
Okay.
I mean, that one vehicle's been there for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it needs to be towed. I mean, it's a stage of the game.
It will be towed tomorrow, just as a reference point.
Okay.
But yes, but that's a symptom, I'd say.
Yeah. So are there, is that coming from people that live on the opposite side of Wooten, or is it
So-
like overflow from Kohlhaas, or?
I would say there's probably overflow from Kohlhaas, because that's been the general issue that we've had, honestly, with the Kohlhaas townhouses in general. We've had to, in the course of the waterline project, tow several vehicles, either tow them just around the corner, and then allow people to pick them up from there, or I think including this one, this might be the third abandoned vehicle that was identified in this area.
Wow. Okay.
And so that's been a constant issue. So I think part of it is the overflow there.
I think it also I think to Preston's point too, with the crossing guard there at Fisher and Wooten.
Yes, with all those young kids in there, we have to keep that flow moving properly.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it makes sense.
Is there any precedent? Someone give me the history. Have we done this before in other areas?
Cattail
We
Road.
did Cattail. That was the
Cattail
section we
Road.
did. We also did, right now, we're into a temporary one on Spurrier because when the kids lost all the parking at, you know, 'cause
Yeah.
in high school.
Yeah.
So we have a run of, right now, and we'll review that after the school.
That should be better now, that the big parking lot.
Yeah, but still, I mean, once the school is done and we get the pattern down, we'll review that one.
And so what we've done in the past, we put signs up? Or
Yes,
we
yes.
enforce with someone going around putting stickers on cars? or-
Yes.
Signs
Yeah.
and,
So our code enforcement officer does that. He puts stickers on the cars. We try to communicate with residents if we know who they are.
And our code enforcement officer is a
Yeah.
police officer, right? That patrols the,
He's a former police officer.
And then what is the precedence for how long a vehicle's been somewhere?
So
I'm thinking
we
about
operate
Monday.
for
It's a
code
nightmare,
enforcement
too.
purposes. We operate on a complaint basis.
Okay.
So sometimes they've been there a lot longer than we have the complaint for. But we try to. I think it's in the code that we have. An abandoned vehicle is considered an abandoned vehicle after 48 hours of continuous
Okay.
parking there with no movement or no apparent mode of operation. So if it has flat tires and things like that.
on blocks.
And
Yeah.
what also happened, we used to tow vehicles easier. Montgomery County has passed some laws which make it tough to tow a vehicle so far from the where area it is because it creates a hardship for somebody to retrieve the vehicle.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And it's a lot of extra fees, impound fees, you know.
Yeah.
So would this,
They incur.
so would this be no parking 24 hours or no parking between 6 to 12?
School hours or however it's deemed.
So that we could make that determination.
Okay.
When Wade and I talked about this, we didn't talk about having a time limit on it. So I think our thought was just to have it be no parking. But I think if you guys feel,
Well,
Well, if you put a time limit on it.
But you
then
know
it's
what,
gonna be a
Niles,
problem.
another section we did actually, Wooten Avenue on the other side.
Yeah.
We put hour restrictions on it, so they had to be moved during daylight hours. They had to be
Right.
out of the way.
yeah.
They could
So-
park in the evening, but by, I think, 7 AM, they have to be gone.
But the issue that I think that you run into there is that, particularly on what we witnessed with the snow event, a lot of times it happens overnight, and you're trying to plow around these cars at night.
But in general, on Wooten Avenue Extended, where we have the existing the time,
Yeah.
there's people park in the evening, but then it's gone. So, and it's same thing, if they did the same thing, it wouldn't bother, or if this going by 7 AM, that road would be plowed by 7:15, 7:30. So.
I'm going to always defer to you and their staff on that, like.
Right,
so
that's what I'm saying.
You think it's okay with the time
And
limit?
in all
then-
honesty, we never had a problem there until we had the water, the new pipes put in, and then some people started parking out there. Well, then 99% of the people put their cars back in. We had one abandoned vehicle, but then there's a couple homeowners say, oh, we can park here now. And now they're starting to, their kids, overflow kid parking basically from
Yeah.
at home, started parking in there. So first off, we got to get the vehicle gone, which the paperwork's in, it's moving in the right direction. Once that goes, it'd be interesting to see if it continues, because we never had one in my whole career. We've never had parking issues there. And even if we just put temporary signs in there just to get back to normal, position, wouldn't be a bad way to go either.
Yeah.
Just a deterrent, you know.
Yep, for now, yep.
I'm cool with the time limit too, or whatever. What did you say, 7 to, no parking, 7
Well,
to
high school starts what, 7?
7:40?
Yeah, but 7 AM, vehicles
Yeah.
from,
You don't think
parking
6 is
there
better?
from, 5 PM to 7 AM, but you gotta be gone.
Yeah, so high school starts at 7:45, first bell rings.
And if they're out of there by 7, it won't restrict the flow through there.
Yeah.
Or we can just make it no parking also, but,
As a matter of fact,
if we follow what we did on Wooten Avenue.
we did the no parking on Cattail during certain times as well.
Yeah, we did,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's,
Almost all of our parking signs, we do have hours on them.
So are you saying then, is the thought 7 AM to 5 PM or 7 AM to 3 PM, or what are we saying?
Yeah, no parking from 7, because school gets out
Yeah.
at 3, we gotta do
2:40.
5 PM.
Yeah,
So,
5 PM.
So, no park between 7 AM.
Yeah, the last bell at the elementary school is at 3:30.
Yeah, okay.
And you're getting kids are probably getting picked up until at least 4 o'clock. So I would say, yeah, 5 o'clock's good.
Okay, so 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sounds good.
What about the development across the street that's gonna go in? Will that be affected? Maybe we should, we won't park on that side, will we? Okay, 7. Good.
Well, that shouldn't be an issue at all, yeah?
Plain all scenarios, that's all.
We need a motion here?
Need a motion, right?
Yep.
Any
Well,
more
I
discussion?
can do them all if you.
I wanna get the discussion part out of the way.
Well, you did it after the motion.
Yeah, well.
Oh, you can, either way.
Yeah, it's cold in here.
Is that why it's cold?
Cold, yeah.
Door was open?
Yeah, the door was
Why
wide
turn the
open.
heat on?
Oh, it feels good, man. Right? I don't even wear a jacket this type of weather.
I'm a chill person.
So I make a motion
Another one.
that we approve, or that we recommend to the commissioners that we install no parking signs from 7 AM to 5 PM
From where to where?
from the intersection of Wooten and Fisher back to Brooks Park,
Or do you wanna go all the way down?
Yeah,
to
Brooks
the-
is fine.
Okay.
to the entrance of Brooks Park.
And that's curbed. That's why curbed.
Yeah.
Can people park on the other side now?
No.
Yeah.
If they had.
Will that be a problem, though?
That's Soper?
Tim, I think
That's Wooten.
that'd be a wait and see.
No, I'm saying Wooten and Super.
We don't have a whole lot of cars.
Down by where it
in
says
the
28.
grass
That's supposed to be
Throughout
sober.
the town.
That's supposed to be sober. I don't know why that's.
John, what do you think? If you can't park on this side, you're gonna move to the other side?
Find out if it works.
Being a city boy.
I'll park my car there next week. I'll let you know.
Well, the other thing is if they park on that side, then they're dealing with the homeowners on the opposite side.
All right, restate your motion, please.
I make a motion that we recommend to the commissioners
7.
that we install no parking signs along Wooten Avenue from Fisher back to Brooks Park from 7 AM to 5 PM,
And that covers the well house?
which is the entrance to Brooks
Yeah,
Park.
that's the.
Up
line
to
right
the
in front of
entrance
it.
to the well house, I should say.
Okay. All right.
That's
I
the well
second
house
that
right
motion.
I was like, Christina, you gotta do the second.
I'll second.
Okay, I guess no more discussion. All in favor of Patrick's motion?
Aye.
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 Terry?
Aye.
He said aye.
I'm gonna see.
I heard him.
Guess that's 7-0-0. Okay. All right. Where's my notes here? Uh-oh.
Follow up on the relocation of dog park. I got you right here. Tim.
All right, old business. Discussion of the relocation of the dog park.
Yep. So the town commissioners received your recommendation for the new dog park location at Stevens Park and accepted it without objection. Staff is currently working on plans for the dog park, including budgeting. At the February Parks Board meeting, staff will provide an overview of the Parks and Street budget items for the upcoming FY26 budget, and that will include discussion about where we are on the dog park and what our plans are going forward for it. But that's sort of where I wanted to, since we talked last time about the dog park and where we are, I just wanted to give you guys an update. So is there any questions on that?
Nope, we'll get an update in February then.
Yep.
Mhm.
Good.
But
Okay. All right, okay, follow up on sidewalk priority list.
Yep. So at the November meeting, the park board discussed the priority spreadsheet. Staff made a few changes to the spreadsheet, including highlighting those areas where sidewalks are in progress. So that goes back to our conversation about West Willard, where we're adding sidewalks there. And then, Alan, we had talked about this separately, but that ADA compliant, making that section ADA compliant is exactly where we discussed. So this was prior to that discussion, but I just wanted to let you know that that's what that referred to.
Okay.
In Hunter's Run, which the Trails Working Group actually saw when they were walking around. So that was part of that discussion as well.
Yes, I have many neighbors that are asking me about that, so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then I also changed the spreadsheets within the within the Google Sheet to make them tables so that they're easier to adjust. So when we're looking at actual priorities, it can be rearranged by what type of deficiency is or something like that.
Sweet.
But one thing to note, just as an overall thing, and then if you have questions or comments or things to add, one thought going towards our budget discussion next month is that based on the Spates Hill survey, that seemed to be an area where we identified 27 deficiencies. So in terms of the next neighborhood to look at for John and Preston maybe is that Spates Hill area to potentially grind down.
Which makes sense. It's probably one of the older areas in the town. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was just sort of my overview. I don't know if we want to go through the spreadsheet more, but most of it is the same. I added in what Terry had given me, and then in terms of improvements, and there were a few. I think there were 8 deficiencies, something like that, Terry.
But that's something that we can do too as a committee or board, is that when we're out, we see a deficiency, we can just note it and send it to you and say, hey, can you add this to this?
Exactly, and that's how I figured we would proceed. But for budgeting purposes, which we'll get into next time, I think we have to have some priority with those improvements.
Right.
Where there's deficiencies that require us to do sort of more proactive work.
Yeah.
Like we did in TAMA.
I think we should also cross-reference that with some of the areas of the Trails Working Group recommendations, particularly
exactly.
that Trail 1, because that is the missing link to get that into town connected.
Yeah.
Niles, I have a question.
Yep.
The sidewalks on Elgin Road from 107 to Wooten Avenue, is that on the list?
So
It is, but we don't own
Kinda
it.
uneven. We own that.
Elgin. Sorry.
from Elgin to
To
yeah.
Wooten towards the high
So-
school. So I walked that and it's pretty uneven.
Yeah. So I'll add that.
I think it is on there. I think it's on there.
But I'll add. I mean, that's where they added.
Well, I tripped over
on
the curb,
Wooten
that's why.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we also said that road should have
Walking my
sidewalks on
dog.
both sides.
Yeah.
Just don't fall, that'll be an
Exactly.
immediate
And so
fix.
that's for improvement, but also the school added sidewalks there as well.
Yeah, I think,
And so- so it's
I
just
think our
connecting
thought
all
process
those.
is any road that led to a school should have sidewalks on both sides.
I do think there's a fire hydrant in the middle of a sidewalk at the school, at the new entrance to the student parking lot. They're gonna have to
Yes.
relocate that one.
I think they are doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, some
So
kid will
someone-
take it out.
Yeah.
Right over by the school, the student entrance.
Yeah.
It's odd.
It's,
John, do you remember that?
it's in the middle of the entrance?
It's on the
It's not in the
sidewalk.
middle, but it's pretty close, right in the middle of the sidewalk coming down. They put a fire hydrant right there.
Well, it's easy to locate.
It's a new hydrant, yeah.
Okay, well, that'll have to be addressed for sure.
Oh, yeah, no. Gina and I talked about that the other day, too. She showed it to me. I was like, oh.
Is it, okay, it's along Wooten Avenue?
It's on it's on over by the front of the school, Willard.
Where the stairs used to be and all that
Yes,
stuff there.
yeah.
Oh, is it really? I didn't see it.
You gotta be,
Remember a new hydrant going in there?
Yeah.
They put it in. But
Well, I
where
know.
the stormwater management was, for-
Yes.
yeah.
yep,
they're
it's right over by the old student parking lot, or it's still the student parking lot.
Yeah, but where they're doing the stormwater management stuff right now. Or was
Now, look,
was
they
the
might-
temporary
they
stormwater
might have
management?
intentions of moving that, because they still haven't fixed that entrance, you know.
Right.
But-
Well, there might be what you consider to be an entrance, maybe just a temporary.
And that's what I was gonna say. It might be just something.
Well, it's-
I think I know where you're talking about, which is a temporary one that they had.
Well, it's closed right now.
Right.
Yeah, it's
right.
closed. It's closed right now because that's where they're doing. They're doing the stormwater management remediation. They're like moving the ponds and.
Underneath, there's
John, I
a,
got an engineering question for you. Those are some big pipes over there. Are
Yes,
we
sir.
expecting a big flood down the road here?
reason.
What did we do
they're-
before?
they're-
Oh, that water.
So where those large pipes are that you saw go in, that's Montgomery County's stormwater detention devices, so that when it does discharge, it discharges at a specific rate.
Ah,
Detention's a bad word.
that makes sense though.
Especially in the school system.
Yeah.
So essentially saying that
But what do
because
we do
it's
with the water
wider,
before?
it's going to be less force.
So actually, what it is what you may not have seen is underneath the parking lot, where they're working is there is a series of manifolds, if you will, through there for storage of water that comes through the biofilters that they built. Okay, and then that water is detained and discharged at a specific rate based upon what's there.
Is this in the parking lot?
Is that permeable park?
Is that where there's
You
like
drink-
72,
you drink it?
manholes? Uh-huh, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And is that going to be a special concrete, whatever it is?
Pervious?
Water goes
No.
through permeable concrete?
They do have pervious concrete in the sidewalks out towards the ball fields. Montgomery County's trying to get away from the pervious concrete now.
Anyway.
I wonder why.
Be careful.
Preston, before we get into your parks and street report, we had talked about, you guys did a great job, by the way, with the snowstorm.
Thanks.
Still doing it. You told me a week ago, I saw you up by the flagpole, you said, we're going to get 6 inches of snow. I said, a week out, and you knew that?
I don't watch the normal weather anymore. I YouTube, I go,
AccuWeather.
no, I
No?
go to University, Blue Devils, Duke. Those kids have it on the young, I go to the young.
Anyway, so we got,
And it's really, they're very interesting how they track the air masses and the thing, and man, they get these models going, and they are.
They got better AI than everybody else.
there's a guy in town that lives in Hunter's Run, who's a meteorologist, he's an engineer, and he predicts all the snowstorms. He's right on.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. But anyways, I try to use all,
Garage.
I watch our local weather, they're pretty good too.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to, supplement it with different technology and stuff like that, and they were pretty accurate.
So one of the
And I
things,
think this weekend, we're going to get 2 to 3.
okay, one of the things we discussed was cars parking on roads, are tough to plow around. Can we talk about that down the road? Maybe getting the word out, you know?
I think Niles put something
Yeah,
out.
so I put
I
something
saw
out on
that. Thank you,
Friday.
Niles.
Yeah, and
On Friday.
in general, Tim, this was one of our best snowstorms
He did move the stuff.
with, we only had 2 kind of incidents. One, that abandoned car caused a little issue, and there was one, Niles and I talked about on Hempstone
Yeah.
Court.
Okay.
And Niles and I got to work that. I don't know what we can do with
Yeah.
it, but that, because they're parking in a
There's a-
certain area.
The other
And I
thing we
think-
talked about, Pat, you want to go?
No, go.
The other thing we talked about was, like this is 3 or 4 cul-de-sacs in the older neighborhoods.
Right,
Have
which-
islands in the middle?
Which actually have grass in the center, and
Yeah.
I would like to see in the future actually take it to a blacktop.
Can we take that up down the road now?
Yeah.
Talk
So,
about that?
yeah, in fact, I sent an email to Wade about that. Preston and I had talked about this earlier today.
That's been, we talked about this as
Yeah.
a committee.
Yeah.
It never
and
went
so-
anywhere, yeah.
So what I can do, so I wanted to get Wade's feedback before formally presenting it to you guys.
Okay,
Just
good.
because I don't remember what the history of that grass and everything that.
There's also some issue, we also have had issues with emergency vehicles, particularly fire
Right.
engines down in there.
And that's what Preston and I discussed. We thought, like, with how people are interacting with those things, especially parking next to them, that it makes it very difficult for fire engines and things like that to get back around there. I just wanted to have all my ducks in a row before we discussed
Yeah.
that.
And what was
formally.
funny, Niles and I pulled up the satellite map.
Yes.
The car was showing. The car was
Yeah.
on the island. So
in
it was,
fact,
hey, that's the car I'm
let me-
talking about. So.
John, you're an engineer. When those houses were built in the 70s, most people only had one car. Those driveways were built for one car, right? Now we've become 2 and 3 car families.
Generally.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is that the turning models that Montgomery County used for the cul-de-sacs are different than what they are now.
I live on a cul-de-sac. It's a big cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So let me.
Okay, thank you.
I'll
That's all
show
I
you
got.
what we were talking about because I did save it just in case anybody has any questions. Let me present.
And like Niles and I talked about, my biggest, it really was caused a problem during the snowstorm, but if they ever had to get a fire truck down through the neighborhood, if we can't get our trucks through, those big trucks, and actually,
There's one. Look at that.
there's a car.
There's a car right here,
Yeah.
right against it.
I don't know how people even get around that just in a regular vehicle.
I'm sure there's some contingency in that.
I think so, yeah.
But Collier, I think, has its, one of
Not calling it.
Sometimes there's two vehicles sitting there.
Look at that one, Hempstone Court, look at that.
it's Hempstone, and there's another one.
And for history, Timmy, I'm gonna check your brain here. Is, remember years ago, we had to put, there's no parking on the one side in there because of that.
We caught a lot of flack from one of the families, yeah.
Yeah, we had issues with
I shouldn't say that, sorry.
but we had issues with one homeowner kept parking his trailers out on the road, which caused a pinch point.
Yeah.
And,
He moved,
yes,
he moved.
yes, but now, for some reason, it must be in the soil or something, I don't know. And we're back to having a,
Vehicle parked in the.
couple vehicles in that court right there.
Yeah.
Which,
So that
like I
was-
said, the snow is one thing, but you can't get a safety
Go
vehicle.
back 15, 20 years, the fire guy
Well, he used to be
lived on
down in
that.
there,
And
yeah.
he was a big proponent, he wanted to get rid of those.
But now, I don't think he's down there anymore, so,
His mother passed and I think he moved.
yeah, so, but now it truly is, you're not getting a fire truck down to there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was
couldn't get down there
for that.
anyhow.
He wanted to get rid of that, I forgot all about that. Okay,
New business on the next agenda item there, or next agenda?
Preston, Niles, you good? Can I go on,
Yep,
Preston?
I'm good. Mhm.
Okay. Superintendent of Parks and Streets report.
All right, guys, well, new year, started off with one of our larger snow events we've had in several years. I had several new employees that had never worked it. They did exceptional. They really did. Mike Butler and Charles Smith, they're my younger guys. They came in and did a fantastic job.
The sidewalk guy broke the side of it and we couldn't fix it for him. We couldn't get a bolt in there.
Well, we got it though.
Yeah.
But that
I
happened.
felt bad for the kid.
Yep.
This Preston's gonna kill me.
That's all Mike in there. But anyways, those young fellows really, well, they've been around a couple years, and it's just like this year, they've kind of started maturing and stepping up, and they really gave me a real good run. I think overall performance, I with the contractors we had on board and our guys, we started, we were here on site at 8 o'clock Sunday. We didn't leave until lunchtime yesterday on there. And it was a long, drawn-out event, but we just stayed on top of it, and that's why, in general, our roads were clear. I mean, it was, if people needed to go get some food or they had to go get some adult
beverages?
adult beverages, they could do it. That's our goal. Keep them fed and keep them happy. And
We gotta figure out a way to get that model down to the rest of the county, or get get the commissioners, whoever else, to say, hey, each sub-district of the school system
Or
is
cleaning
in
the
charge of
schools.
cleaning. Yeah, that's my
They
point.
do it.
Well,
They do 3 a day.
I don't want to dog those
One guy can do 3
guys.
schools a day.
Because removing snow is a tough job.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
And Wade has really allowed me to develop, so we have enough personnel. And if you notice, every 2 to 3 hours, we're through your neighborhood in general. They're covering so much area, they go through once, they might not get back to the next day.
That's my point. It's too big. They need to get. We've got to the point where the size of the county.
Smaller cluster where things there. So anyway, so we really, we got the system down, and, the first couple plowings, it's not curb to curb, it's just so people can move. And we try to keep the black. And then the last couple loops, we start pushing it all, so then we have to worry about people getting the mail service working. And the only complaints we get is, we push it in the driveway again. But in all honesty, do your driveway, but leave the 4 feet at the end, because we're going to fill it back in. So you only have to do it once. I mean, unless you have to get out, our routine now. And watch the radar. Oh, this is their last band's coming through. Within 2 hours, they'll be done.
No matter what, whether you clean it up now or wait till it's the same amount of snow.
Yeah, but in general, it was a very quiet citizen event. I mean, we really only had 1 or 2, which is normal. And, it just, they just weren't happy where the piles of snow went, even though, they don't want it in the front yard. Well, it's a good place for it, when the call is down. Crew did well. We also wrapped up our tree planting this past month. We do have 2 more I have to pop in. I have to let the ground thaw. I just got to get some snow so I don't end up digging into anything. And we started our aeration and the athletic fields, and of course now with the snow, we just let it melt. Because what was funny, we were kind of held up because we didn't have enough moisture in the ground. And the aeration just walks on top of it. So to get good aeration, you do need some, because we were in a drought, and we still really aren't out the drought yet. This is great for us, but in all honesty, that's only a half inch of moisture. That's not a whole lot.
Yeah, but it's good slow melt.
Oh, this is the snow, and which we haven't had in years. This will work down slowly. It's going to be fine on there. So I do have budget conversations come up with Wade the next couple weeks, and for equipment and upgrading our equipment. I don't have any big toys I need or anything like that. Niles and I are working on trying to get a electric bucket truck to replace our bucket truck. If we can do it, we'll do it. If not, we'll just have to go back with a diesel one. But I do have to. It was old when we bought it, and now it's really old. And so we're moving the direction to replace that. And I did bring that fellow Charles Smith. He's been a 6-month employee for 3 years. I kept bringing him back, and now he is a full-time employee, which I'm very happy with him. So as it stands now, I'm right at the right number I need full-time. I still will request 3 summertime work, which will be college and high school.
Seasonal.
To support us, during the weed eating, during the high maintenance part of the year. I'm talking to Tara, our great event coordinator. We're going to try to bring back the fishing tournament. It's been going for a couple years. We're going to try to bring that back in because now we have a tremendous amount of interest in our ponds.
Oh, these kids are all over the place fishing.
What's that?
They're all over the place.
Kids.
But we lost it.
Middle school kids.
And then I'm just saying, I put a lot of time getting the ponds back, my own time and everything. And now we do have a vibrant fishing community now. And I would like to bring the fishing tournament back.
I think the kids would love that.
Oh, I think so too. And so Tara and I just started discussions on that, and then just be budgeting. It's not a really since I used to purchase fish, but the state made it too difficult. So I just been stocking on my own, and so I would just continue with that.
Normal environmental studies.
Yeah, my biodiversity studies I do. But anyways, we are our ponds. Some of our ponds are really sitting good, and it shows the kids are using it. Parents, they're so happy that the kids are doing things outside the house now, which is great. That's why I like the trail system actually. Our trail system since COVID has really been used, and I think with just a few little tweaks, we can actually expand it. And we've said before that one along
Middle School.
107 that comes down to Plant Road and ties in. Yeah. The people use it, but I think it will go to the next level because a lot of people they don't like their kids going down there because they get on that that you can't have people.
You got to have a sidewalk there. Yeah.
And then we're only talking a short spot, and then all of a sudden you have a tremendous loop in there. So, but anyways,
that was like why it was number 1 on the list for us.
yeah, we also started. We've really been aggressive on tree trimming, and once the snow gets out of here, we're going to go back to it because we have a lot of trees in the newer developments that need their first heavy, aggressive trimming, pruning up. And so we started that over in Brightwell, and we'll continue as the weather permitting, storms permitting.
Is that to get the branches from being low? You want the branches higher?
Yep. We want a higher crown on them.
Yeah.
And what happens, of course, visibility is the biggest thing for people driving, and we'll get it up. Plus, some of them restrict movement on sidewalks, and that's the 2 biggest things. We also have to worry about it's called a cone of light. So if they're near street lights, I got to make sure that the cone is not interrupted, so we do get the light in the right spot. So people sometimes are like, "Oh my God, the tree looks bad." It's like, well, in all honesty, I have to make sure I always err on the safety end of things. Yeah. Aesthetics are great, but safety is number 1. So sometimes people, they look.
Like developers always put a tree right next to the light.
And when they die, I don't put them back.
Do we have a thing of how many feet they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the code there is
So they follow it.
But they weren't followed years ago. And
I know Tommy Kettler did.
Remember some Wild Wild West years ago, man. They don't care.
And in general, I think, having the LED light, talking about lights, we converted them to all LEDs. Our maintenance has almost gone away. And actually, big Cobra lights, which aren't ours, is probably 90% of our phone calls. And wouldn't you say, Niles?
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. That's definitely.
And the ones we get, they're just photo cells. And so it really has saved the town a lot of money and a lot of time going to, besides being, friendlier to the environment, it only uses 1/4% of the power we used to. So it's really paid off in the long run.
Actually, I got a quick question on the trail system to Niles. Niles, do we, is it in the, part of the planning commission's purview that any new development, I know there's only a couple more that are coming on, that the trail system is looked at? Because I do think it was a missed opportunity for that area, the Brecken property.
Right. So I think that's what we can, that's one of the things that we can bring up with the planning commission. I mean, it's not in the code, for example, that they have to look at it or anything, look at it from that perspective. But that's one of the things that we can bring up with them about your record, added into what we discussed with the trails. I can add that as
Well, we're gonna have sidewalks
comment.
over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all gonna have it has to have sidewalk by code, but I'm just curious to, like even a rustic trail back behind the houses.
No, I believe, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
what I thought, yeah.
But typically, the problem becomes in doing that is that you lose lot coverage because you're gonna that area becomes a public place, right?
Right.
It's not an easement across somebody's property. Typically, it's gonna be a dedicated portion of the land to it.
Right.
And reduces the lots, which then changes lot configurations.
all that good stuff.
You lose density.
Which is, I don't think anybody in the town's really gonna be that concerned over.
Back to your group, the department. You guys were back suctioning up cones or something, or down in Hunter's?
Oh,
Tell me
what
about
we
that.
did, it was kind of a pilot program to see how it went. And some of the town trees, they finally become mature. They're actually locust trees, and they drop the pods in there. And probably, I would say 80% of the people cleaned their yards up, cleaned them up, and there was a group of people that hadn't, and they had started to pile up on the sidewalks. And they're actually very waxy, long beans, pods. And I had a couple of ladies approach me and say, hey, slipper, it wasn't their property. They say, but. And then she goes, I'd be willing to help with you guys. And I said, won't you put something together in your local blast on the internet and see? And we got pretty good feedback. And once we got done, it was only like 15 homes, 20 homes. So we went through and it worked well. Our machines worked well. We only had 1 or 2 people, again, didn't follow directions, abused. That's one thing when you try to do something nice, there's always somebody that has to take advantage of it.
Now, my neighbors want leaves. They like that program. They want leaves out of our neighborhood.
Like Bethesda? You tell them they can pay Bethesda
But
taxes.
see, Timmy, your neighborhood, once again, 95% of the people take care of their yards, and there's 5%, and they're still sitting there.
There's leaves everywhere. You guys pushed them all in the plows.
Yeah, but we just cleaned up Lori Gore, our responsibilities, and you can see neighbors on both sides had cleaned all the way up to it. We did our job, but there's certain people that they don't believe it's their duties, and it just.
Yeah, but even like Bethesda has the leaf
They vacuum, yeah.
vacuum. And I think that's where they get the leaf grow.
The neighbors blow the leaves into the park.
Well, I believe it.
They blow them all into your park.
Surprise me. But anyways,
Yeah,
once
pay for that,
again,
it's expensive.
we don't have the facilities to do bulk ourselves.
No, I know.
That would have to be contracted out because we can't store them. I mean, you'd have to get
Well, that's why I think leaf grow. The leaf grow product. I think that comes from that the leaves that are picked up in Bethesda, Chevy Chase
What
area.
gave that away, huh?
It's literally on the bag.
No kidding. Leaf grow. Leaf grow.
No, I mean like it says a product of
I know,
Montgomery County
leaf
Maryland.
grow.
Yeah. But anyways, so it went well, but like I said, there was a few people, and then we were afraid it was going to lead to people wanting their leaves, and I haven't heard a whole lot of feedback on that. So. But once again, I think our goal is to support the community. And I thought that was just maybe a nicety, see what happened, and it worked out well. It only took a half day of my guys. Well, it took to like 1 o'clock. We started in the morning. We were pretty much done at 1 o'clock.
Good job.
It was just like a couple people that put like their entire yard out there to get you.
Well, no, somebody did it from their backyard and put it into the front yard. It's basically our street trees, and this person didn't even have any of those trees. He made a pile, and you can tell he walked over and took 10 bean piles someplace and put it on top of his oak leaves.
So do you think maybe we could put in the budget again for a street sweeper?
You keep talking about it.
We need a street sweeper. Niles, get a street sweeper for us.
I'm listening to you guys.
We need a
Put that in
street
that budget.
But anyways,
We
With that
could've
budget
had one
coming
about
up.
10 years ago, I said.
yep. So anyways, that's it.
The ice
3
skating.
inches of snow on, 2 to 3 inches of snow Friday evening through Saturday morning. There you go.
It would be 40 degrees on Friday, on Saturday. Melt.
Test, well number
They
3.
were cool.
Yes.
Is that the one it's in Brook, right?
Well, 3. At the end of the townhouses on Wooten Avenue.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you
You got
got,
Call House, you got, row of houses that are on Wooten Avenue.
That one right there.
you good?
Yep, yep, thank you.
Ellen, do you have a commission report or anything?
Oh, I'm good. I mean, it's,
What?
Anything?
I thought.
That sign's gone.
like I said, I needed to do my first Parks Board meeting. It's interesting, get a chance to, I need to do a ride-along with you at least eventually. I know you guys are pretty busy, but just need to go out, familiarize myself with the whole system and ready to go. So, and that's a day. I mean, I'll definitely carve out a day.
Yep, that'd be great. I'd like to have you do
That way, and I can pick the strategic brains of these fine men and women to
Who's that?
better apart.
I was gonna say, who's he talking to?
I was talking about
So now,
John and Preston,
what are some of the things you'd like to do for the town?
relative to,
Being a commissioner.
I don't know, I mean, we got a lot going on. We got the pool bubble, we have to work with, the community center that's in the
4 or 5 years.
good old White's Ferry, that's gonna be, we got a meeting, the
That ship is-
24th.
The ship is sailed.
So, you'd be surprised. We got different angles.
I will be surprised.
I will be too, but you
Yeah.
know what? It's, Link and Jim have done a
They
phenomenal
have.
job and
Oh, I'm,
And you missed
I
that
was
field
gonna-
trip. That
yeah,
was a great field trip. I
So-
learned a lot on that trip.
Pool bubble.
The bubble was, that was one
Yeah.
of the biggest things I've seen.
I have a question for you, but I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But the skate park.
Yes.
How
oh,
far-
give us an update. Skate
Yeah, I was just like.
Now, skate park
Actually, John
update?
might be able to do it better. It's pretty close. I think they're just working on the storm
So
water.
the concrete work's done, they're working on the stormwater management and tying that in. They got the biofilter in place. And once we can get the pipe down to the inlet and tie it in, we should be good.
I've seen more kids on that skate
Oh,
park
that-
during construction than ever.
Well, that was even better. But
It's so
look,
funny.
They
You know,
had
that's
some
that
fun
was
with
that was a citizen led that was a young man, a high school. He's now a high school senior
yeah.
that led that and got it done.
It
That's
was one of
impressive.
our own, Butch.
Yeah.
in all honesty, the skate park is used 365 days. I mean, unless there's snow on it,
Updated portion.
there's people in that. And that's better than
It was
any-
pretty cold the other day and it was
Student led that.
packed.
Oh, yeah.
And our baseball fields, there's a window, 3-4 months on their soccer field. Soccer probably a little more year round, but overall, that is one of the biggest used parks that we have. Every day there is people on there.
Skate park?
Right, yeah.
I would really love to figure out a way to so that it can't be vandalized because I know it's not the skaters that do it.
Well, they used to break into it, and then what did you do?
We just took the fence down.
Took the fence down.
Yep.
Now they don't break it?
Yeah, the rubberized mulch is gone permanently.
What's that?
The rubberized mulch is gone.
Yeah.
That was a big,
Yeah.
If we end the
Issue.
meeting, yeah, we could talk about that at length, but I don't want to go on record saying
Bad
anything bad
topic.
about that.
Bad topic with me.
Yeah. If it's so dangerous, then you have to close the parks.
Non-citizen complaining.
Yep, lady from Barnesville did it. Cost us a lot of money. Well, I guess the meeting, we need something from Pat.
Wait, why did I gotta do it?
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
I'll second. All right, Parks Board meeting is officially over. Good night, Niles. See you later, Terry.
Night, Niles.
Terry, that's a
guys.
fake background.
Yeah.
It never got dark.
It's a great